Hello there. What is going on, everyone? It is me with ADHD, and we are back again with another episode of answering your questions. I have a decaf coffee for today. I'm trying decaf. It's just not the same. It's just not the same. Okay, so why don't we just jump right into this then? The first question I have is, how do I tell the doctor that I have ADHD? Well, just that. Just tell them. I mean, I guess it's not as simple as that. It depends on who your doctor is, who your healthcare provider is, all that kind of stuff. For instance, I am with Kaiser, so what I need to do is I called up the Kaiser number, which is the one on the back of the card, and then I explained to them that I need to talk to somebody because I think I might have ADHD. What happened after that was they then had somebody call me, and then I did an over the phone kind of mini interview where they asked me a few questions, and then they were the ones that determined that I needed to see the counselor and psychiatrist. The counselor was the one I saw first. She is going to determine whether or not they think that you have ADHD and whether or not you need to be treated for it. So she was the one who then scheduled me an appointment with my psychiatrist. My psychiatrist then gave me a full evaluation, and then once that you have that full evaluation done, that's when they'll talk about treatment options. You also are going to carry on your counseling sessions as well. I got 10 with mine. I don't know how many you get with any of the different providers, but that's kind of the way it went for me. All that to say, you just need to ask. You just need to ask somebody, ask your doctor, ask your healthcare provider. Just tell them that you think that you might have ADHD, and then they'll go from there. So question number 2. Are you sure procrastination is about ADHD? Some people procrastinate who aren't ADHD too. Well, this is a great question because one of the biggest misconceptions with ADHD is that people think it's not real because certain symptoms associate themselves with regular brains too. Procrastination is the one that they mentioned. That's one. Yeah, lots of people procrastinate in the world. I mean, that's not it's not an unknown thing. You could say the same about focus. Yeah, sometimes people don't focus. I mean, that again is something that happens a lot. People have bad memories. All these different things. People are hyperactive at times. Everything like that, symptom-wise, individually people can relate to it, right? But that's not what ADHD is. ADHD is you have to have shown at least a minimum of 5 of these symptoms all combined throughout your entire life. And also, another thing to mention on that is there's slight procrastination and slight memory issues and slight focus, but then there's ADHD versions of that, which is a much more extreme version of that. And it's something that you can't just turn around and say, you know what? I'm just not going to procrastinate, or I'm just going to focus. It just doesn't work like that. It's a much more extreme version of it. The way I equate it to is, for instance, depression. Yes, so sometimes I get sad, sometimes other people get sad, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm depressed just because I'm sad at times. You know, you're taking one symptom and then you're saying that because you can relate to that it's not a real thing. So yeah, I do believe that everybody has certain symptoms, but you have to have had all of these symptoms for your entire life for it to be then ADHD. All right, so next question, we are flying through these. Have you experienced tics all of your life? Well, I'm assuming that this is geared towards the Tourette's part of my life. Yes, I have had tics as long as I can remember. My mum actually mentioned it to me when I was very young. I think, I can't remember the exact age, but she had noticed that symptoms started around when my granddad died, when I was very young. They'd not really noticed anything before that. So, you know, I don't know if a trauma like that in my youth had triggered the Tourette's to kind of come out. I don't think it's the cause of it because it's a genetic thing, I believe. But yes, I had symptoms way back then and tics way back then. They were much more extreme back then, actually. My verbal and motor tics, so I have both, which is movement and voice. I had both of those pretty extreme when I was younger because I didn't really know how to handle it as well. That kind of got a little bit better as I got older. The tics that I have now are, you could say that they're the same tics that I had when I was younger, but they're much less. You can't see them as much, you can't hear them as much, because you learn throughout your life how to kind of mix them into other aspects of life. So I can mix in my verbal tics in a conversation as part of a conversation, and then not a lot of people will notice it. It's the same with my motor tics. If a certain movement was something that was the tic, I can now kind of do a smaller version of that and still get the same satisfied feeling from doing that tic. So yes, I've had them all my life. They were more extreme when I was younger, but they're not very extreme now. They're still equally frustrating though. Is Adderall worth it in the end? Yes. For me, yes, Adderall is worth it in the end. ADHD medication in general is good for me and it's good for a lot of people. Research has shown that stimulants and other ADHD medications are helping with ADHD. I can personally attest to that it does help with a lot of my symptoms. Not all of them. Like I've said in almost every video that I make about this kind of thing, I say that it's not just medication. That takes care of one or two symptoms. Those symptoms are things that are amazing when they're fixed, but it is still just one or two symptoms. You have other symptoms that you need to kind of learn how to cope with. It's better to have coping skills and mechanisms to handle the other parts of your ADHD, and also it's imperative that you have a healthy diet, sleep, and look after yourself. These things are really important too, but I do not regret at all taking Adderall. I'm especially happy now that I found the dose that works for me, which is nice and low. So no, I don't regret it at all. All right, so my last question for today is extended release versus instant release. Well, I personally have only ever taken extended release. And the reason for that is when they asked me which one would work better for me, I definitely wanted to take extended release because you only take it once a day. The instant release is like 4 to 6 hours or whatever, so you have to take it twice a day. The extended release is 10 to 12 hours. For me, that's amazing because it means that my memory is awful. So, you know, I'm ADHD, so how am I going to remember to take 2 tablets per day? I mean, even if I remembered, would I remember in the morning to take that tablet with me so that I could take it in the afternoon? All these factors for me are just too much thinking. So I take the extended release, that works better for me. I know plenty of people who don't like the extended release though too. They prefer the fact that they can take it at the times when they need it during the day. So for instance, they might take it first thing in the morning because that's when they're most productive and that'll get them through the morning. Then they'll kind of not have it in the afternoon, and then they'll take it towards the evening where they know that they need to go and do more work, or they know that they need to go back home and start cooking, doing all that kind of stuff, and they feel like they need it then. So it gives you a little bit more flexibility when you take the instant release, but I personally, just because of the fact that I don't remember to take more than one, take the extended release. But anyway, that's all I got. Thank you guys again for sending in the questions. Really appreciating them. I'm taking the questions from the comments and the ones that people are sending me. So thank you guys. Keep commenting. Let me know if there's any more questions that you want me to talk about or answer or try to answer. I'll give you as honest an opinion as I possibly can. Like the video if you guys did. Don't forget to subscribe. Click that bell icon, stay up to date with all my new content, and I'm going to see you guys in the next one.